Simmers, what is up, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Pepper, and today we are doing another romantic build for my romantic series, and it is a bachelor pad, because you gotta keep in mind those single folk, some people don't have a boo thing next to them, and so they are dating or casually seeing people, and so I was inspired to do a bachelor pad just to kind of do that side of romance for February. And so if you don't know, I have a series of romance going on my channel for the month of February. And if you want to check out my other builds that I have, you can definitely do that. I'll have them linked down below as well. But I have a bachelor pad here, yeah. And so it is actually a tiny home. And I thought it would be nice because, bachelor pad, single sim, it's just fitting, and I kind of wanted the challenge of having that kind of themed tiny home as well, so it was really fun to do, actually. I had a good time, and actually doing the outside of the build, I tend to do like really boxy builds when I do tiny homes, and so I wanted this one to be kind of a different kind of layout and not just a square. I know it's still a little bit boxy, but it works out for this build. I think it's nice. And so I do have a neutral color system going on, and I know that's kind of my MO right now. I have trouble reaching or branching out and choosing other colors. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm so afraid of color, but I'm just really comfortable with neutrals. And so I know people like Lil Simsy always does like that blue Suburban, and that's her MO. Well, the neutral with the black roof is mine. That's my MO. And I gotta get out of it. So I did do some community lots in the past few days. If you want to check out those posts, I did a beach, I did a lounge, I did a park, I did a cemetery, I did a few different things just to kind of get away from building walls, I guess, is why that is. Anyway, there is some landscaping that I do in the front, and I do keep it kind of colorless, if you will. So I just do like a little bit of yellow, but mostly white and just greenery. I didn't want it to be like this plush, beautiful garden looking thing, because I had it for a male sim to be living here by himself. And while it is a very green plush area and it is well kept, I didn't want it to be too colorful because I'm comfortable with neutrals. No, I'm just kidding. It was just for the specific build. It was just very fitting. I wanted kind of like a masculinity to it. When he brings those girls home, then he will see, or they will see, just this masculinity, and that could be something that they're attracted to. So that was just what I was kind of making up in my own head for this storyline, or for the storyline for this build. And it was a good time. And so I worked a lot on this front part. I feel like I've been trying to find a reason to use platforms. I don't use platforms in the front of this build. I tried to use it in the back. I end up not even using it at all in this build. But I don't know what it is. I just can't figure out like what's the perfect time to use platforms. And then when you do want to use a platform, you kind of have to like it deletes everything around it. And then you have to rebuild. It's just a lot of work if you decide to use a platform like in the middle of your build. And so it's definitely something that you just have to plan for. But for me, I don't think about like building a whole build around platforms. But maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll see if I could build like a loft or something like that. But anyway, let me pay attention to this build before I start getting into other builds. But I really like the path that I put into this build. That was really fun to do. And while it is a real pain to actually do it and get it right, because it is, kind of one of those really detailed kind of things, it is pretty nice to watch, because when I was actually looking back at the footage, it was just very pleasing to the eye to just watch the path be filled in. And so that's just how I feel. Like, I'm looking at it now and I'm kind of like, I just like it. But yeah, so it was really a challenge to do. Just not really, it wasn't like a hard thing to do. It was just annoying because I wanted it to look perfect. And I liked the way it came out, but it just took a long time to do it. And then I know I also tend to go for like the side stair for the back porch. I just don't like a porch that has like the stairs going straight out for some reason. Not that I don't like it, but I just don't tend to. I don't know, it just doesn't look right in my own builds when I'm doing them, or maybe I'm just not doing it right, or maybe I just need to do it in the right way. But I mostly do kind of smaller builds, and I kind of like it when it's put to the side because it gives you a lot more space to work with in the backyard, I think. And I did want to put that hot tub in the backyard as well, kind of on the back deck, because it's a bachelor pad, and what's a bachelor pad without a hot tub? So, you go to the guy's house and you go to the backyard and you see a huge jacuzzi. And even on winter nights, you can go on there and it could be really bubbly and hot, and you can woohoo there and, do what you feel is right for your game. And so, I actually really like how the bathroom turned out in this build. I don't really work on bathrooms that much. Like, I don't put a lot of effort into them usually. And it's just because it's like, it's where you pee and poo. Like, who cares? Nobody. So I actually did put some effort into this because I thought, like, if he had a girl over or even a guy over, I mean, I don't know what kind of gameplay you're going to play, but the one that I was going to play, it was just going to be a guy that brought home a lot of females, kind of your typical bachelor, but it could really be anything you want. But I figured whatever date he was going to bring home, they could go into the bathroom and be like, ooh, like, this is a really nice bathroom. I wanted him to be impressive. I didn't want him to be like this single guy that you go to his house and he's eating ramen and has like a fold-out chair in his living room. Like, I don't want it to be that kind of deal. I wanted him to be well established. I wanted him to be someone who was successful and, maybe had some money and, he had things to flex. Like, maybe he has nice skills. He has a good job. I did have it so that he has a dog. So, he can meet girls with his little puppy and they could like swoon all over him because of it. So I just had this whole story in mind of like all the ways that he gets dates. And so he also has this soft carpet because, if you take your shoes off in the house, then you can feel your feet on the plush carpet and feel so comfortable there. And then I have like these big windows because since it is a tiny house, I wanted it to be like, you could see outside and it could be that it looks bigger because of the windows. I didn't put it so that, I was thinking about having it without those, I don't know what you call those things, the lines in the windows. But it just looked weird, like with the windows that had nothing and just a big window. I didn't like it. So I just thought these were nice because it did look like it had more space, being a tiny home. But it didn't look weird. So I didn't want this to look like it was like, some of my previous tiny homes where it's like homemade, like they made their own home. Like, I wanted this to be a tiny home, but like really well built and structured. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I went for. And this is the kitchen. I really liked doing the kitchen because it's kind of like this little nook of a place, and you have like the broom there behind the trash can. I made sure to include a fire alarm because that always happens, fires. And then I do skip ahead with the clutter items just because it did take me a long time, but I do put clutter items in there, and there are some books up there that you can use for a like bookshelf or library or whatever. And then I did put it like the bedroom pretty open, so I did like an open space. I didn't close it off just because I wanted it to look a little bit bigger. So I felt like I did try doing it with a closed off room, but then it just looked really cramped, and I wanted it to be really open and impressive for, one of his dates that walk in. And so I did give him a bigger screen TV. I sized up that one because the legs on the other one are weird. Like, they didn't fit on the table right. So I had to use that one and then just size it up. And then kind of have like a little living area there. And I did put a guitar because I thought, maybe that was going to be one of his skills that he would have. Or it's something, even if you want to play with it and move in your own sim, then you could have the guitar there to just skill up your sim already while you're first moved in. I did put some medals and trophies because, again, I wanted this guy to be like a successful guy, and I wanted him to seem like really impressive and have all of his stuff on display so that when he brings his dates over, like, they could all immediately be impressed. I mean, or they could be like, wow, this dude is really trying, and be totally turned off by him and his ego. But I just wanted that to be his intention. And I did put some autographed memorabilia of like a sports jersey on the wall because I figured, I don't know, maybe he is a famous athlete and that's why he's like a bachelor and he's so successful. Or maybe it's just because he's met those people and he's gotten autographed things and he just wants to put it on display because he knows people or whatever. And so this is my attempt at the platform thing. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was thinking like I had a bigger deck over there for the hot tub, and then I wanted kind of like a lower part to have like a little patio furniture living area or whatever, but it just wasn't looking like how I wanted it to look, and I knew that if I brought it out more it was gonna mess up the back porch that I had already built, and it was just a mess. So I was like, you know what, screw this platform, I'm just gonna get rid of it. And then I just decided to make it a grill area instead. Because I figure, yeah, that would be nice, right? If you invite someone over for a date and you grill up some stuff. They have like tons of grilling options in The Sims 4. And so, yeah, you can grill up some pinchos. You can grill up some burgers, like whatever you desire, and impress your date. And there is also that little mini bar thing or whatever. I don't really know what to call it because it's not a bar, but it does give you the mixology skill. So I thought that'd be cool too if the Bachelor knew how to make drinks. And of course I add a woohoo bush because in all of my romantic builds so far I have added a woohoo bush. And it's just appropriate, I think. It's February, it's the season of love and romance, and where else would a woohoo be appropriate but a woohoo bush? So there's just options. You got the hot tub, you got the woohoo bush, you got the shower, you got the bed. So there are many places to woohoo in this tiny home built for a bachelor. And so if you have Wicked Whims installed, well, there you go. You have even more gameplay available to you. So I do have a little lounging seat out there as well, so Wicked Whims could have a good time with that as well. And I do put some, greenery and some flowers back there as well, because I just wanted it to make I wanted to make it look lived in and not like just propped there. So it is kind of a small backyard area, but I just wanted it to look like it was actually really part of the home instead of just something like that's extra in the back. So that, little landscaping there really brings that in. And terrain paint is everything. Absolutely everything. I feel like it looks so ugly if you don't use terrain paint. So if you guys are not familiar with building, or like you need some tips on how to make your builds better, I'm not saying that mine are like completely fantastic or anything, but one thing that I have seen is amazing is terrain paint. And I know I definitely, was too long talking about that just now, but it's true. So just use terrain paint on your builds and make it look more nestled in, like just outlining it with the dirt and then just putting different textures around can really make it look like it belongs there and not like you just built it for 5 minutes And by all means, I'm not saying you take 5 minutes for your builds, because my builds take forever. This build itself took like 3.5 hours. And I feel like that's way too much for the little thing that it is. But that's what it takes, just because it takes a long time to look through everything, to decide what you want to do. So it's a lot. But we are coming to the end of the video here, so if you did like this build and you want to play with it, you can download it on the gallery using my gallery name SIMplyPepper1 or hashtag SIMplyPepper. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you like free stuff, consider subscribing to my channel because it's free. And you can also click on the bell for notifications for every time that I post. So see you guys in the next video. Bye!